Alex Brummer, Carney loses the Sat Nav just when we need good guidance more than ever. By Alex Brummer for the Daily Mail, published 21:51 British Summer Time, the 1st of August 2019, updated 21:51 British Summer Time, the 1st of August 2019. Everyone can be wholly relaxed that Mark Carney has done all he can to protect Britain's outsized financial system from Brexit. Yet the governor of the Bank of England hasn't made the task any easier by speaking openly of how a no-deal departure from the EU could send sterling tumbling again. It was once axiomatic that central bankers and finance ministers refrained from talking about the currency. Loose lips. Bank of England Governor Mark Carney has spoken openly of how a no-deal departure from the EU could send sterling tumbling again. The risk is that if the Bank of England has serious doubts about the pound's ability to withstand a disruptive Brexit, sterling's fall becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Indeed, potentially it could lead to uncontrollable capital flight. The bank says it has future-proofed the financial system against a worst-case Brexit. But when the markets start a currency run, you can never be sure. The last sustained attack on the pound, when the UK was ejected from the exchange rate mechanism in 1992, emptied the reserves and led to a terrifying rise in interest rates. Few saw the financial crisis coming in 2008, and at the time the Treasury feared the impact on sterling. You can bet your last pound coin that when the next catastrophe comes, it will not be on anyone's risks list. Amid the insouciance surrounding sterling, there were a couple of useful inflation report messages. The risk of recession has increased to 1 in 3 as business uncertainty has intensified. And while monetary policy can fill a vacuum, when there is a demand shock, there is very little the bank can do about supply-side trauma, the result of customs hold-ups and carmakers unable to access parts in time. When Carney arrived at the bank in 2013, he set his store on providing guidance on interest rates, arguing that businesses and consumers need certainty. How things have changed. With the pound falling, and the inflation forecast elevated beyond 2019, the next move in interest rates could be up. Then again, if growth is heading towards the abyss, it could be down. All is clear as mud. Stock-taking. The bank may be capturing headlines, but it is another pillar of the city, the London Stock Exchange, LSE, which is looking through Brexit and making bold efforts to secure its future. The LSE's agreed £22 billion offer for financial markets data provider Refinitiv has downsides. As with all companies coming out of private equity, Refinitiv is loaded with debt, changing the shape of a relatively unburdened balance sheet. LSE chairman Don Robert is ill-advised to bring Refinitiv boss David Craig on board. Such doubling up of executives has a long history of ending in tears, resulting in big severance bills. Another problem is the presence of Blackstone as a cornerstone investor. It, along with Thomson Reuters, had agreed not to sell down their joint 37% stake for 2 years. But we know nothing about Blackstone's response should a predator come along offering to buy the whole caboodle. That said and done, there is something satisfying about this deal, first discussed at that hotbed of gossip, the Chelsea Flower Show. The core of Thomson Reuters always has been British, and this deal will repatriate ownership. The combination of the LSE and Refinitiv will also create a powerful rival to Bloomberg, offering more choice for financial sector players across the globe, but no one should underestimate the cost of IT and content upgrades for the inferior Refinitiv icon screens. Nevertheless, the deal should be good for the LSE, deepening its exposure to fixed interest and derivatives trading through Tradeweb markets. LSE chief executive David Schwimmer has come up with a much less value-destructive deal than the aborted merger with neighbors at Deutsche Börse. Hopey, it will also keep borders at bay. Lead bank Barclays is not quite a city pillar, but it is the only competitive European investment bank left standing now. Deutsche Bank has imploded and Swiss giants are concentrating on sweeping up wealth management. The latest results are unlikely to convince Ed Bramson that Barclays Corporate and Investment Bank is a crown jewel. With pre-tax profits in that part of the bank down 15%, there is enough good stuff, such as fixed interest trading and work on floats including Uber, Avantor, Nexi and Pinterest in the US, to be encouraged. Chief Executive Jas Staley should stick with the project. It needs an American over here to see off a